I'm Gareth Kane and welcome to Ask Gareth. The idea here, as always, is very simple. You ask me a question about corporate social responsibility or sustainability and I do my best to answer. The clue is in the name. And I've had some really great questions recently, but this one is probably the best of the lot. And it's from Bill, which is not his real name. And Bill says, "Dear Gareth, your collaborative approach to developing a sustainability strategy has had quite an impact on me. My problem is I don't have anyone to have this conversation with. I'm finding it impossible to get in a room with decision makers. I think the people around me are waiting for me to give them a sustainability strategy on a plate. What should I do?" Well, Bill, that is the $64 million question. You see, as Bill says, if he works and drafts a sustainability strategy in isolation, it could be the best one ever written, but if he doesn't have buy-in from anybody else, it will sit on a shelf and gather dust. The problem with having a collaborative approach is you have to get those people in the room in the first place, so what do you do if they're not interested? Well, here's my 3-point guide. Point 1 is ditch the green crap. So that's slightly tongue-in-cheek, but people like Bill and me and most of our viewers would be passionate about sustainability, but clearly other people in this case don't share that passion. So don't speak green to people who don't get green. Okay? What you have to do is what I call green jiu-jitsu, which is reframe all of sustainability in terms of the culture in the organisation. So that's the language you use, the images you use, the stories you tell, absolutely everything has to be framed through that culture. You're basically looking for the overlap between the current culture in the organisation and sustainability, and that's where you start. Now, in particular in this case, you have to work out the business case for sustainability as it applies to your organisation. You need to understand those drivers pretty well, as we will see, because if you align your sustainability strategy to those business drivers, then it's far more likely to be successful and far more likely to get other people's attention. If you've got a group of green champions or other sustainability related people, then this is quite a good task for them to do. Look at those cultural issues and in particular the business case. Okay, point 2 is to get some executive muscle on board. You can't manage these things upwards, and really what you need to do is get a strong ally somewhere in the top, preferably the boss, the chief executive themselves, to push this down through the organisation. Now obviously if they're not on board fully yet, you've got to do some working on that, and that's where your business drivers come in, because you have to work out which of those drivers will resonate most with the chief executive or other key allies. So, for example, if your chief executive is always very conscious of what your competitors are doing, which most are, then go and have a look at all the sustainability programs that your competitors are doing, pick the best ones and use those as examples, because it's quite a lever. Another technique that has been very successful is the interface floor. When the genesis of their groundbreaking Mission Zero sustainability strategy came about when the boss and founder, Ray Anderson, who sadly died a few years ago, he was asked to give a presentation about what the environment meant to interface. And the resulting panic in putting a presentation together led him to launch Mission Zero. So that's quite an interesting way of doing it as well. Quite a sneaky way is try and volunteer your boss to talk sustainability. And another tip is one of my mastermind group members swears by targeting key non-executive directors as allies as often as they can ask the questions you can't. So once you've got some commitment from that very top tier of management, then you can start filtering down through the organisation, which takes me on to point 3. Now you've got to identify the key people in the organisation that you need on board to develop your sustainability strategy. Because without the buy-in of, say, the operations manager or the procurement manager or even the head of HR, you're not going to get very far, because they're not going to know what's going to change. So, armed with a bit of backing from the top management, what you need to do is get your foot in the door of those key individuals. If you need to warm them up, a very clever way is to find a genuine sustainability problem that they can help you with. So for the head of finance, it might be, how do we account for carbon costs and carbon legislation within our investment appraisal process, or something like that. Anything you can get your foot in the door, flatter them by asking for their help, asking is what you're proposing okay, whatever it might be. And then when you've warmed them up, you can say, we're developing a sustainability strategy. This is going to have a big impact on your organisation, so I need you or one of your top people in the room when we're developing it, so you don't get any shocks. If that doesn't work, then you might have to go back to using that executive muscle and getting the powers that be to tell people to be in the room. But preferably you warm them up and bring them along first. Okay, so that's my 3 tips. I hope I'm not making it sound too glib, because this is a very difficult task. But the triple bottom line here is, getting people in a room is more than half the battle in sustainability. To get them there, you need to speak their language. Okay, Bill, facing a big situation there. I hope you have gained something and some encouragement from what I've been talking about today. Everybody else, what do you think? What are your experiences? Do you agree, disagree with what I've said? Put it all in the comments below the video here. I will answer every single one of them to the best of my ability. If you found this video useful, then please like it, share it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, whatever it takes your fancy. And make sure you go along to www.terrainfirma.co.uk and sign up to the Low Carbon Agenda. That's my monthly newsletter, and you'll get every future edition of Ask Gareth and a whole lot more free stuff. It's really cool. And remember, whether you're making incremental changes to the environmental performance of your organisation or facilitating massive step changes towards sustainability, it all counts. You're making the world a better place. You should be proud of that. Till next time, goodbye.